welcome back to my channel. This is video 3 of my looking for a job, here's some good advice series that I'm doing, because I am looking for a job and I've discovered some stuff that I think could be useful to other people that are going through this. Before I start this video, I want to say that this will be a departure from what I did last time, because I felt like that video was good in its own way, but felt very inauthentic to who I am and what I wanted to do here. So for this video, I wanted to talk about severance and a separation agreement, if you should get something like that from your company, because I did receive a separation agreement. I didn't think the terms were great. I wasn't super happy with them. And I found out that you don't have to accept the separation agreement the way that it's written, that you can negotiate it. So you shouldn't think of the separation agreement as the company dictates all the terms and you've just got to sign it. If you did not watch the last video, before I talk about severance, I just want to touch on that for a second. It was about filing for unemployment. Before you worry about negotiating severance or your separation agreement, file for unemployment immediately. That is your most important thing to do after you've been laid off, because it takes time to get all that handled through the state wherever you happen to live. You want to make sure it's done, that the ball is rolling on that. Then you can come back to severance. It could be the same day, it could be the next day, but make sure that unemployment comes before anything else that you do. Now, when you've been laid off, you probably will feel a way towards your employer, but you need to know that a separation agreement and a severance package is not a requirement by law. So if they're doing this, it is them being generous towards you and helping you in this transition. It could be very hard to see it that way and to think to yourself, this is nice of them, because in the same breath, they've also just laid you off. But it is them extending some kindness and trying to help you out. They'll probably give you the separation agreement the same day that they lay you off and ask that you sign it. Probably sooner rather than later. You don't need to sign it right away. In fact, you probably shouldn't sign it right away, because the day that you're laid off, or the day after that, or the day after that, you're going to be very emotional. And you will not be thinking in a logical and clear way. So take your time. Let them know, I need some time to look this over. I appreciate it. Just give me some time to look through the legalese and the terms and decide what my next step is going to be. One thing that's important to note if you're over 40, like I am, is that you are protected under federal law. That you have more time to review the separation agreement. If you're the only one being laid off in the company, you have 21 days. But if you're part of a larger layoff, then you have 45 days to review the agreement. And that is federally protected for you. You also have 7 days to revoke after you've signed and change your mind under that law. And again, this only applies to people over 40. So there are some benefits to getting older. In the separation agreement, what might you find there besides severance and benefits to you? Because the company is going to want something out of this as well. And typically what you'll find in there is you're waiving your right to sue the company for wrongful termination. You're also going to guarantee that you do not speak ill of the company, that you do not share company secrets, you return company property. You might also see a non-compete agreement, and that means that you cannot look for a job in the same industry where you were working previously. And that's a tough one, because if you have a lot of experience in a niche industry, it's not going to be easy for you to find another job without being in that industry. So after you've reviewed the separation agreement and you've decided, yes, this works for me, or no, this does not work for me, I need to ask for things, you're probably going to want to ask for more severance. Traditionally, it would be 1 to 2 weeks of pay for every year you worked at the company. If they've offered you significantly less than that, then you're probably going to want to ask for more severance. That will be your first ask. And you might want to ask for them to pay for your insurance for a while so that you don't have to shoulder the burden of your health care as well. And as we talked about earlier, the non-compete agreement. Basically, your employer is free to say no to any of these things and say, this is what you get, take it or leave it. But it doesn't hurt to ask. Like, you've already been fired, so what difference does it make? Again, the worst they can say is no. And then you just sign what was presented originally and you take that and you move on with your life. Now, when it comes to figuring out how to ask for these changes and what you want, don't just fire off a random email. Make sure it's professional. Make sure it's not emotional. What you want to do is draft a formal letter to the employer. You want to start out by thanking them for the separation agreement and severance, because again, they are not obliged to give this to you. So it's their generosity. Make sure that you thank them first and foremost. Then the next thing you want to do is have like a broad overview of, I've worked at X company for so many years. In general, I've brought these good things to the company in a broad sense. We don't want to hear bullet point each thing that you've done individually. Just give an overview of how valuable you are to the company. From there, you'll want to segue into how you feel the separation agreement should be adjusted. And here you'll put a bulleted list of, I would like the severance to be X. I would like COBRA to be extended, and I need letters of reference from my manager. I also need the non-compete agreement removed. And then after that, that's where you're going to put your bulleted list of what you've been able to do specifically for the company in the years that you worked there. You took over an entire department and you ran it efficiently. You had excellent customer feedback. You earned X amount of revenue for the company. You were able to get customer satisfaction scores up. You had excellent reviews every year. Things of that nature. You want specific, detailed, bulleted list here, calling out each individual thing. And then when you drafted the letter, save it as a PDF, and then email the PDF to HR or whoever is managing your layoff. Because it's much easier then for them to take that PDF and forward it to leadership or whoever's going to be in charge of making this decision. Hopefully this will get you the results that you're looking for, or if not all of them, maybe halfway. Don't go in with unreasonable asks. This is not a yard sale. You want to be professional and you want to be polite. So now I'd like to know from you guys, have you ever negotiated severance and was it successful? Did you get what you want? Did you even know you could negotiate severance? Because I certainly didn't. And when I found out I could, I took the opportunity to do so. So let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video and it was helpful to you in any way, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it. It helps me a lot to know that people are actively benefiting from what I'm doing here. And of course, subscribe because that's also beneficial to me. So all in all, severance is not a guarantee. It is a generosity. But if you're offered a package, you can and should negotiate it.